Well, joining us for the Friday Entertainment panel is Abby St. John. Abby, there's a few things on the agenda today. We finally get our first look on set with the new Marvel movie Thor: Love and Thunder, which is in production now in Australia. And of course, one of the big things that a lot of people loved in the last movie was the fact that they had Matt Damon and Luke Hemsworth and Sam Neill kind of doing like a cosplay reenactment. So we're going to get that from what the set photos have shown us, but we also kind of get our first look at Natalie Portman in this movie as well. So what else what's some of the takeaways from these photos?
Yeah, some of the photos, we have seen photos previously. Got a glimpse of what Thor's gonna look like, big arms, so very good. And then we also saw pics of the Guardians of the Galaxy, which we know or we've suspected that they're going to be a part of this film just because of how the end of Endgame went, where Thor did go off with them. So it'll be fun to see how they are incorporated into this film. But like you said, the tone of this film definitely has the same comedicness as Ragnarok did, which I think is very important to keep because Ragnarok is just such a great film. It really just brings out a different side to these characters. And like you said, new photos of Matt Damon and Luke Hemsworth, who portrayed Loki and Thor in that play scene in Ragnarok, they're back. Plus, we also saw Melissa McCarthy dressed up as Hela, signaling that she will be playing Hela in this play sequence, and it will depict the events that took place in Ragnarok. So that's going to be really interesting to see, and I bet that it's going to just be hilarious. I'm very excited to see how this movie flows, how it goes, and I think we're still going to get that same feeling, that same comedicness that we saw in Ragnarok in Love and Thunder. So I'm very excited for it.
We also saw glimpses of Tessa Thompson being the new King of Asgard as well after she was given the reins by Thor at the end there of the Avengers movie. One of the other things to talk about there is Netflix finally adding another big name to this movie that they're talking about, this big Netflix movie that involves Chris Evans, Ryan Gosling. Now Bridgerton star is going to be added to this cast. So talk about that there, Abby.
Yes, this is basically going to be Netflix's biggest movie investment to date. It's costing them $200 million to make. It's called The Gray Man. It's based on the 2009 novel of the same name, and the Russo brothers are directing it. They are keeping themselves very, very busy. But like you said, it is going to star Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling, and we're going to see Chris Evans in kind of the villainy role, which we briefly saw in Knives Out. But it's going to be interesting to watch that. But anyways, the movie wraps around the Gray Man, who's a former CIA op turned freelance assassin, Court Gentry, who will be played by Ryan Gosling. He's being hunted by his former CIA cohort, Lloyd Hansen, who will be played by Chris Evans. So it's a modernized spy thriller, as the Russo brothers stated. But the cast also involves a lot more stars, a lot more big names. Knives Out star Ana de Armas is going to be in it. Luke Cage's Alfred Woodard, Billy Bob Thornton, and like you mentioned, Bridgerton star Regé Jane Page. So it's going to be a star-studded cast, and I think it's going to be a different take on the spy thrillers that we're used to seeing, the James Bond movie franchise, stuff like that. It's going to be different. It's going to be more modernized. So I'm very excited to see it. And, it's always interesting seeing Chris Evans in the more dark villainy roles, since we've seen him play Captain America for so long. It's interesting to see him in more of the darker characters.
And he was really good in Knives Out there. And of course, he's done some other projects as well that have gotten pretty good acclaim from him as well. And one of the last things to talk about, we have talked about it on the show before, on the panel, excuse me, was the live action Pinocchio that we know Tom Hanks, we know, is already going to be in it. But some new cast members were added and announced this week. And by the looks of it, it's shaping up to be a pretty good cast so far.
Yes, yeah, definitely. They have added to their cast. Besides, Tom Hanks, we already know is going to be playing Geppetto, but they've also cast Harriet star Cynthia Erivo as the Blue Fairy, Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Jiminy Cricket, Benjamin Evan Ainsworth as the voice of Pinocchio, Keegan-Michael Key as the voice of Honest John, and Lorraine Bracco as a new character. She's going to be the voice of Sophia the Seagull. So it's going to be interesting. This film is really starting to come together, and with these actors in place, we're going to be able to kind of picture how it's going to look and what it's going to feel like. And, I'm really excited to see what this cast does with these iconic characters.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, like you said. Of course, we know Little Mermaid's in production. We don't have a first look yet, but we'll be anxious to see when we get our first look at Pinocchio. Abby St. John, thank you so much.
Thank you.